Doo-doo. All righty. Hey there, fraud and audit friends and family. Listen, I got a question for you. Have you ever picked up the phone, started talking because the voice on the other end sounded familiar, but shortly after you realized that the person wasn't who they said they were, and they weren't who you thought they were either? Has that ever happened to anybody? Because listen, if that's ever happened to you, hold on, because today's story is going to challenge what we think we hear and what we think we see. Are you ready? Let's go.
Welcome to the Friday Fraudster Podcast. Join them as they discuss sad, funny, and sometimes disturbing fraud stories. Be sure to catch past episodes on your favorite podcasting platform or go to www.fridayfraudster.com.
All right, you guys heard my initial question. Have you ever just kind of picked up your phone, started talking because the voice sounded a little bit familiar, and then shortly into the conversation, you realize that the person you think that you're talking to is not the person that you're actually talking to? Has that ever happened to you all before? Let me know if it has. Let me know if it has. And so before we get any further into it, let's just go ahead and bring them up.
What?
All right, guys. So look. Stephanie says, hey, from Idaho.
Hey, Stephanie.
Stephanie's going to be with us again next week if I could ever get the stories out on time so she can study. And
I cannot be here next week.
Ooh, see, that's perfect. Look at that.
Thank you, Stephanie.
Somebody's got to keep Thomas and I straight.
Yeah, you don't want to leave just the two of us. That never goes well.
Okay. So look, you guys have heard the question that I asked. So let me ask you guys. Have you ever just kind of picked up the phone and started talking to somebody that was on the other end because they kind of sounded familiar, or they knew certain things that only someone who knew you would know, and then shortly into the conversation you realize, wait a minute, this is not who I thought it was?
I haven't had it happen.
No, sorry.
Oh, look, I don't answer numbers I don't know, right? Okay. Fair enough.
I mean, I've never had anybody that's like known information about me. I've had scam calls before, but not like somebody going, oh, hey, Christine, how is such and such going?
Yeah, I'll have some that are, hey, are you the business owner of such and such, or you own the property at, whatever the address. So I'll have those kind of scams stuff, but that's it.
Wait a minute. Wait. Lisa.
There you go.
Come on down. Okay, look, I think I still have your email. I'll send you, you know what? You know I'm not going to send you an email because I'm so busy. Look, send me an email and I'll send you. Look, at least I'm honest, man, right? At least I'm honest. Because I definitely want Lisa on. Look, okay. All right, so, okay, what if you received a call from someone and they knew your name and they were like, hey, Thomas, how are the kids? And then you just start talking to them and then it sounds familiar. And so you keep talking and they say, oh, it's Joe from such and such. What do you think you would do in a situation like that?
Well, normally when they try to scam like that, I'm like, wait, you're who from where? Like, who are you? I immediately started attacking that identity. Who are you?
What about you, Christine?
I think as soon as they'd be talking, if I didn't know who they were, I'd ask them, who is this? Because anybody that I'm really close with, their number is saved. But I would do the same thing that Thomas would be like. I'd be like, how do I know you?
You all are a little bit nicer than me. I just hang up. Like, I'm serious.
We see half the calls I get are, hey, Rob just hung up on me.
But I also think it's different for you two because I mean, you guys do your own business and consulting and you guys go places and you meet people. I'm just nosy. I want to know who's calling me. I just want to get down to it.
Look, Stephanie said, who this? New phone? Wait a minute. I love this one, Lisa. Wait, Lisa. Do you have good hold music, though? That's the question. Do you have hold music? Lisa said she puts them on hold until they hang up. No, seriously.
Put on put on the most annoying song you can possibly think of as the hold music.
So look, I get for the last several months, I've been getting this same scam phone number. And they call it about 8:18 to 8:30 every morning. Although they stopped calling this week, maybe New Year, I don't know, whatever. And I never answer the phone, so I keep wondering to myself, why are you still calling? I don't answer the phone. Don't you get I don't even want to know who it is. And let's not talk about text messages. So there's a house that I owned, I don't know, maybe 20 years ago. I get text messages. Hey, are you still looking to sell such a house in Jacksonville, Florida? And I'm like, I sold that house over 15 years ago. Like, what? Don't answer that one either.
You're like, how old is your database? No, I get calls kind of like that, right? That, are you looking to sell your house? No. Oh, well, do you have any other property you'd be interested in selling? No. And then as soon as I hang up, I hit the block button. It's so, you almost feel bad for them sometimes. Like they're just trying to, do their job if it's a legit thing, but it's so annoying.
See, I don't feel bad for them. I don't even answer these calls. And if I slip up and answer on accident, seriously, I hang up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Stephanie's got it. Computerized calls from scam centers.
Yeah, the ones that you pick up the phone and you have to sit there for a few seconds waiting for them to actually pick up the line. Those, I don't even wait. You hang up, hit block, and keep going.
Oh, you know what? That's interesting. So even though I hang up, I normally don't block. I blocked the first one a couple of weeks ago. Well, because, I'm sitting here thinking, what if it is something for real and they actually get through one day and it is something that I really need to know about? Or what if because to me, if it's something serious, you're going to leave a message. But it's something about that fear of missing out, right?
Oh, yeah. I feel like that we see a lot of that. And we just had our state governmental affairs conference and we've been talking about like the cryptocurrencies and stuff like that and how fast people are to take money out and deposit it. And I said, essentially, it is that fear of missing out because we've seen how fast Bitcoin grew and where Bitcoin is at and where it started. I think that's a lot of it. I think that drives a lot of people to make irrational decisions without stopping and thinking first.
Oh, now here's what's interesting because you said Bitcoin. There's a tie-in with today's story with Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies and all that good stuff. Now, Lisa says my office team is now good at screening scam calls. They make up names and places of how they know her. Oh, wow. So that's interesting. Yeah, Stephanie hit another one. They can spoof numbers, including from your bank. Yep. And then, yes, I know, Lisa. I'm starting to do that now. Lisa said, always block if you know you're not going to answer. Yeah. Like I said, I blocked the first one this year. And so I'll be using that block button going forward a whole lot. Okay. So now it looks like most of us, we're pretty good at dealing with the scam calls. We can identify them, we can deflect and defend from them, and we can also push that button to block them. And doggone it, I don't have my soundboard over here today. Anyway, we can block them. So that brings us to today's story. Ronald Spector, a 23-year-old from Brooklyn, allegedly spearheaded a sophisticated scheme that defrauded over 500 victims out of approximately 16 million in cryptocurrency. Now, the operation was a vishing. We've all heard of phishing, right? Now we got vishing, voice phishing campaign, where Spectre and his co-conspirators allegedly impersonated security personnel from Coinbase. Now, Coinbase is a major cryptocurrency exchange. Let's take a step back. Coinbase, they allow individuals to deposit money with the exchange, and they facilitate the transactions of buying various cryptocurrencies. Almost like back in the day when, we first learned that we could buy stocks online. Remember back in the day, you had to buy stocks. You had to call in, you would get your paper stock certificate, and then all of a sudden it moved online. Picture that, but for cryptocurrencies. So now, what they did was they convinced users that their accounts at Coinbase had been compromised, and then they manipulated those victims into transferring their entire portfolio into quote unquote safe wallets that were controlled by the scammers. Okay, let me go a little bit further.
I mean, can you imagine someone walking up saying, "Hey, your wallet here has been compromised. It's about to be, stolen." When you walk around the corner, here, use this one instead. Trust me on this. I mean, it's the same thing.
There's people that would still do that, though.
True. Yeah.
You know what, though? You know what? So it reminds me of the old trick where they'll put up signs when people are walking in busy areas that say pickpockets nearby, guard your money. And then people touch their pockets, thereby indicating to the thieves where their money really is. So here's what these scammers did, though. They didn't just call random people. They allegedly and reportedly obtained a list of Coinbase users through separate bribery schemes or through data breaches or from the dark web. And so this allowed them to call victims by their full names and allowed them to reference actual account details. And so that instantly established trust with these people. So imagine they got a call. It looked like a Coinbase number, and the person said, "Hey, this is John from Coinbase. Your account has been compromised, and because of the serious nature of Bitcoin, we really need you to move all of your funds out immediately."
I'm broke. I don't got Bitcoin.
Thomas, what would you do if you got a call like that? We know what Christine would do. She would tell them she's broke. She doesn't have Bitcoin. What would you do?
Well, so it really feels like, most of us here doing what we do, we're relatively risk adverse, right? So I think we've talked about it before. None of us have really put any kind of money into Bitcoin or cryptocurrency because it's not something we necessarily trust. So we're naturally just kind of distrusting with that sort of thing. So I can almost imagine people who are big into it and have more money in it, they are less risk adverse, and therefore they don't have that, alarm going off in the back of their mind of, hey, maybe I need to question this. Maybe they're not as sensitive to it as we are. But no, I mean, just like if Chase Bank was calling me saying, hey, we have a problem with our account, you need to close it. We're going to open you a new one. I'd say, thanks, I'll call you back. You don't just take someone's word on it like that if you get a phone call.
Well, and here's the thing with Bitcoin, though. I think that there is an additional urgency because of the nature of those transactions. If you think about it, a Bitcoin transaction, well, once it's gone, it is gone.
Yeah.
It's heavily encrypted. It's hard to trace. It's hard to track. So if someone calls you and says that your Bitcoin account has been, or your Coinbase account, which holds your Bitcoin, has been compromised, there is a sense of urgency because you don't want your record that's on the blockchain to actually disappear. It's not like money in the bank where you can actually go back and trace it. The bank can say, well, it started here, but then it went to this bank. If someone is able to compromise your Bitcoin account, it could be that they couldn't find it. So with that said, here's how they created the urgency with their victims. So the victims would get a call or a text from a number that appeared to be Coinbase support line. Back to Stephanie's point, they spoofed the number. The caller claimed that there was quote unquote unauthorized activity on the account. And to stop the theft, they told the victims that they needed to move their funds immediately. But here's where it gets even better. In many instances, the scammers directed the victims to these download desktop software apps like AnyDesk so that you could share your screen, or directed them to a fraudulent website to download something that looked like it was official from Coinbase. It had the Coinbase login. And so that allowed them to capture the two-factor authentication codes right there in real time when they did that. So now, say again?
So was that a Weebly website?
Probably so, right? It looked like Coinbase, but it probably was Weebly, or what's the other one? Squarespace or whatever. So now that's how they were able to actually get the information. Now it gets even better though. The scammers then convinced the victims to send their crypto to a temporary, secure, cold storage wallet provided by the agent that was on the phone. Now, in reality, these private wallets were owned by, the alleged perpetrator here. And so once the transfer was confirmed on the blockchain, the money was instantly tumbled or mixed to hide its destination. So let's talk about that for a minute. These transactions are on what's called the blockchain, right? So now your cold wallet is thumb drive or something like that that is offline. Blockchain transactions are difficult to trace as it is, but when they start mixing them, you can really hide the ultimate destination for the money, and it makes it difficult to trace where it came from. So on one hand, people liked the blockchain and Bitcoin because it was fairly untraceable, which is why a lot of illegal activity occurs on the blockchain. But on the other hand, once the money is gone, it's gone. So let's go to our audience and you'll see that they're saying that. So Stephanie said, the ignorance of Bitcoin is exactly what makes people so open to scams involving it. And Lisa says, ordinary people not thinking like us, it's, pretty easy, right? And then Lisa says, and most victims are 45 plus. Hey, what's wrong with 45 plus?
Two of us are over that, and Christine's like 25, so she doesn't count.
I mean, I'm over 50, so what does that say about me? Like, what do you?
Almost 45. Almost. Give me a few more years.
I'm knocking on 60 over here. Well, okay, maybe not that close to, but yeah, and again, yeah, it's all gone for good. Lisa said, Lord, this story is getting worse.
Wait, there's more.
Stephanie hit it. It is just like layering and money laundering, right? Yeah. Yep. And then, Lisa knows some about big blockchain. She said the mixers are to make it untraceable. Yep. And the way they did it was really, really smart, right?
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, I'm not familiar as much with Bitcoin or cryptocurrency or blockchain, but you could tell he was doing a good job, like you said, layering it and really trying to get it out to where it's not as traceable. But I'm sure you'll go into the details, but the investigation and those that were part of it did a good job with what they were needing to do.
Right.
Yeah, because again, this stuff is difficult to trace. You got them starting with spoofing numbers so that they look familiar. But one thing that really started to tip them off was Spectre's lifestyle. So despite having no legitimate sources of income, he was allegedly living a really luxury lifestyle in Brooklyn. Um, so it was hard for them to figure out where he was getting his money from. So that was one way that they could easily tie him back to the scheme.
Now I also saw that he's an outstanding person, living with dad at 23 years old. But that's really cool, Lisa.
Yeah, I was just about to ask.
Yeah, a certified digital asset compliance specialist. I've never heard of that one, but that's really cool. The dad, I was watching an interview about this, and I don't know if he was a prosecutor or what he was exactly, but he was making the comment that the father is actually pretty well off and has legitimate income sources, and they looked into him and said he really had nothing to do with it. So if you're living in a more lavish lifestyle already because of the dad, it's hard to prove or hard to even see, some of this stuff is illegitimate.
Gotcha. So I'm sitting here trying to look up that certification because I'm definitely interested in that one. No, seriously, the U.S. government has now expressed an interest in and has invested in Bitcoin. So, or cryptocurrency. Sorry, I don't know specifically if it's Bitcoin or not. So let's be technically correct. Cryptocurrency.
I almost threw out a sarcastic one. Nope, I'll just shut up. Go ahead.
Oh, so yeah. Okay, now Thomas, you have a favorite thing about this story you wanted to talk about, though.
So the defendant, the allegedly guilty party, he had to go bragging about it online in various forums, and he had to use a handle that just made me crack up whenever I read it. He literally used @LOL I'm feeling evil as his handle for social media whenever he was bragging about this these crimes he was pulling off. So LOL I'm feeling evil is about to be feeling locked up in prison if all of this is true.
Yeah. So what he was doing too was he operated a channel on Telegram. You guys know what Telegram is? Telegram is an app similar to WhatsApp, and it's encrypted. It's actually pretty good. So that was his handle on Telegram as well. LOL, I'm feeling evil. And so it was a blockchain. The channel though on Telegram was called Blockchain Enemies. And he used the channel to openly brag about his heist. He had posts of screenshots of his victims' balances after he had conned money from them, allegedly.
I don't want to encourage people to do crimes, and I don't want to, tell them on how to get away with things. But last I checked, doing, crime 101 was don't post pictures of yourself doing the crime.
Right. There you go. Stephanie just said, of course he did. Social media is a jackpot for people incriminating themselves. Speaking of incriminating though, oh boy. Okay. One of his most tragic and most fascinating aspects about him was where the money went, because it wasn't invested or hidden very well, allegedly. It was largely gambled away. Supposedly he had $6 million in gambling losses. So in some of the recovered messages, he talked about losing $6 million of the stolen cryptocurrency in one single gambling spree.
That's sad.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yep. Now, he tried to create somewhat of a professional presence too, because check this out. He didn't just steal, he was managing other criminals. So let's talk about his recruitment efforts. He used online forums to recruit quote unquote social engineers. Those were his callers. So he orchestrated this multi-stage attack. So first he would, of course, trigger the fake hacking by sending real-looking emails with the two-factor authentication alerts. Then, while the victim was panicking from that one alert, he would have a support rep to reach out to them and call them to save them from their panic. And so he made the scam feel real by having, the text message come out, then the person calling them to save them. And then he coached all of those people on how to be good social engineers.
It's another one of those criminals that they put in all of this work and effort. How successful could they be if they weren't doing illegal activities, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that before where they, have this vast ring and all these people and they go through all these hoops and they're trying to hide it. They do this and that. It's like, you know what? If you would have applied yourself to create a legitimate company, you'd be making millions right now instead of sitting in jail.
I mean, for this, because of him using the money for gambling, it reminds me of what is the show? Not Landman. It's the one with the ranch. Anyways.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Or maybe it was Landman, where she goes and she does like $1,000 on black. She loses. So she does like $2,500 on black. She loses. So then she ends up doing $6,000 on black. So she keeps doing that incremental rise. Like, I'm looking at this going, you guys had so much money, you could have done that. And then given that money back.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about some things that probably led to him getting caught. Oh, but before we do, Telegram is where all the criminal fraudsters communicate and brag. Yep. Exactly. Stephanie says gambling is often laundering. We're gonna get to that in just a minute. And Telegram is used to brag, sell fraud as a service package. Yeah, it really is. And then Stephanie is saying, yes, it was Landman. Yep. I've heard that it was good. It's actually on my list. I just haven't had a chance yet to watch it. But let's talk about some things that possibly led to him getting caught.
Okay.
Perhaps one of the biggest blunders is that he frequently logged into the fraudulent crypto wallets and his Telegram account from his home IP address.
That's what got me. Whenever I saw that, like, you do all of this work and you didn't use a VPN.
Well, yeah, and I guess that's because he wasn't really a hacker, because even the best hackers, they use the jump boxes where your VPN even changes IP addresses several times a minute or a second or an hour or whatever. So they jump IP addresses frequently, and they do it through the system, right? Yep. So he used his father's home internet.
He's still living in his dad's basement?
Yeah.
With all that money?
Yeah.
That's why the dad was saying he had no clue, because it's not like his son had made millions and then went and bought him a house or something like that. Since he was gambling it all out, then there wasn't as much evidence there. And yeah, he was still living with dad.
Now, in addition to Telegram, he also used Discord. I don't know if you guys use Discord, but a lot of interesting things happen on Discord too. Good things as well as bad things. He also had the public ledger proof where he would, screenshot his successful thefts. Now, there was one incident that was really interesting. As rumors began to circulate that he was about to get caught and of his real identity and who he was and what he had done, he had this fear that he was about to get doxxed. And if you don't know what doxing is, most of us do it. That's when your private information, name, address, etc., gets exposed on the internet. So he was afraid that he was going to get doxxed. And so he texted one of the people that was working for him, and he told him to get rid of one of the cold wallets, one of the physical hardware devices. And so the message kind of proved that he was, guilty. And they found that text message evidence. The other thing, though, that he did was, so since crypto is kind of decentralized, the exit ramps to crypto, i.e., real cash, converting it back into real dollars, that's highly regulated. So what he ended up doing was he sent a large portion of the stolen assets to several online gambling services, hence the 16 million loss. But then he also sent them to digital storefronts by buying gift cards. So again, as he's tried to turn this into real cash, he then created a trail. So these services kept records of the accounts and the IP addresses used to place bets and to make purchases. And they just followed the money from the victims' wallets all the way through to when it came back into being converted into cash.
Thank you for all those, what are they? Financial analysts that can do that stuff.
Yeah.
You don't know when to stop. You don't know when you found everything.
Yeah.
And, as an auditor, that's always one of my fears, right? You see a little bit of smoke, so you start doing an investigation. You don't want to go down so many different rabbit trails that lead to nothing, that you're wasting everybody's time, but you're worried, did I miss that one trail that does lead to something bigger? That's one thing that I'm always worried about, that, you're trying to make sure you cover everything, but what is the one thing you don't overlook, or that you do overlook, and you end up missing something?
Yeah, and he missed a lot of things. Lisa says he left so many breadcrumbs, right? It was like Hansel and Gretel.
Right. But then I sit here and go, okay, so he left all these breadcrumbs, right? But what if he didn't leave breadcrumbs for $2.5 million for when he comes out of prison?
True.
Ooh. Yeah.
Nope.
I mean, because I don't know. Did they get all of the victims that are there?
Probably not.
Well, Lisa would know. She is certified in these financial crimes.
Well, I saw that there were about 100 victims. They only interviewed 70 of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, who knows if there's anything that's like you said, kind of tucked away. Especially if it's a cold wallet. He could have buried a cold wallet anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And then too, I think what they were able to find was mostly the items that he actually converted back into cash, right?
Yeah.
And so they know the losses, but to your point, Thomas, the cold wallets that are buried in someone's backyard somewhere.
It reminds me a little bit of the controller in Texas that worked for the bakery, stole a bunch of money, and then was buying a whole bunch of jewelry and stuff, and he literally had Rolex watches buried in the field next door that they had to go dig up. You never know what's hidden where.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
and that's true. Lisa's saying sometimes people can get some funds returned. Yeah.
Well, I think they said they have recovered only about $500,000.
Yep. Yeah.
Wow.
There's a high likelihood of additional unreported and undiscovered victims. I don't know. Yeah. But then here's my question. Let's say he did. Let's say purportedly he hid money somewhere. Imagine he's got to sit for like 15 years, if we're lucky. Let's say 10. Could technology change that significant in 10 years that he wouldn't be able to access that money in the old format that he had it?
Yeah, he'd be able to access it. Yeah.
Okay. See, this tells you how much I know about it.
It's a relevant question, though. You're right. In 10 years, I think crypto existed 10 years ago, and and things have changed so much since then. Who knows how much it would change in another 10 years. You're right.
I feel like I first started like reading about Bitcoin back in like 2010, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd be surprised at how long crypto as well as Bitcoin has been around. It's been like since the 2000. No, I'm sorry, the 90s.
Well, Bitcoin itself officially started January 3rd, 2009.
Yeah, that's Bitcoin itself. But
Mhm.
the whole cryptocurrency and the makings of it, the 90s, like you had what's this thing called? There was some failed ones, like eGold is one of them, and I can't remember there was a few others, but they were failed experiments from the 90s to about the early 2000s, and then it died off a little bit, and then Bitcoin, dog, I'm old. When Lisa said the way jail math works, he'll be out shortly. Look, see, to Stephanie's point, though, it is like trying to find something to play your 8-track on. You can find it. It might be a little difficult, but you will be able to find it. Because like, so I've got a bunch of records, albums, don't tell anybody. And now the record player has made a comeback, right? So, yeah.
I have one in my office with all my records from my parents.
From your parents. God, I feel old today.
I got some Quiet Riot. I got Eddie Murphy, Lionel Richie.
My son has some album covers attached to his wall, hanging on his walls right now. Record album covers. So yeah, they've made it. Actually, I was talking to a guy this morning. He has 1,500 records that are in pretty good shape that he's holding on to. And I was like, dude, that's your retirement right there.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it really is. Now, I don't know who this is coming over from YouTube. It just says user and then a bunch of numbers, but they said he will be able to access it if law enforcement / government resources allow, and they could, monitor his activity. But yeah.
That would be so awesome. That'd be so hilarious. He gets into prison, gets some computer time, goes in there, tries to check his accounts to see if they were stolen. And that's how the police find out about the accounts and get it.
Yeah.
Stephanie said she has a Michael Jackson record.
Yes, I do not. I would love to add that.
And a bunch of Rolling Stones.
That Michael Jackson biopic coming out looks good. His nephew is playing him. That looks really good.
Oh, there we go. So Carolyn Ellison from FTX just released from jail, 2 years in jail. Because isn't she the one that was his girlfriend? She was his girlfriend, right, Lisa? But she also cooperated too. So maybe that's why only 2 years. But realistically, though, come on. She was the bookkeeper or whatever for the business. Come on. You didn't know? Right.
2 years.
You get more than that for jaywalking. Yeah, but that's insane.
This is what I love. She was also banned from executive roles in public companies and crypto exchanges for 10 years. How does that not get you a lifetime ban?
Yeah.
Right.
Wow.
Oh, wow. Huh.
Like, it just kills me.
Wow. Okay. So check this out now. Here's another thing and another way that he was able to coordinate a lot of activities to get the fraud scheme done. They're saying that one of the ways he was able to do this was because of a major security failure at the source. So they're saying that sorry, I'm stuttering right now. So it was revealed that there were rogue overseas support staff at Coinbase where allegedly they were bribed. The support staff, people answering the phone. There was one arrest in India involving $250,000 worth of a bribe to hand over sensitive data of nearly 70,000 customers. And so that's how he knew exactly who to call and how much they had in their accounts, because one of the call center personnel over in India took a $250,000 bribe to hand over the names of victims, names and account details.
Mm.
So, I don't think what happened.
Oh no, and just the things people do for money.
You know, there was an old song back in the day called "What People Do for Money." Oh, never mind. I'm old again. Nobody remembers that except me. Oh, Lisa, you remember that song? Lisa's not as old as me either, I don't think, though.
I was gonna say, did you? What are you implying about Lisa here? You're about to get in trouble.
That's why I went ahead and But no, it was an old song from I don't know, I think the 70s, I believe. It was the disco era. You know what? I might be able to play it.
Oh, please don't.
Oh, you guys can't really hear that, but oh, that's it. Anyway, oh wow. Okay, so if you're just joining us, you missed a really good episode, right? We were talking about a crypto scheme where a young man was allegedly able to fleece at least 16 million that we know of out of people. And it was an elaborate scheme because he used phishing, voice phishing. He had account details on these people because he bribed some call center operators over in India. He had them download some nasty stuff and or created a fake website to make it look like they were logging into a legit Coinbase account, was able to steal all of their crypto and then transfer it to a cold wallet, and then lost a lot of the money converting it back into cash because he had a gambling problem. That's interesting. Now Horace is saying, nope, what people do for money. I don't know what you mean by that. Do you not remember the song? Is that what you're saying? And then Bob is funny. 1984, George Orwell. Oop, Lisa said we are the same age. See, I didn't offend her at all. See? So she probably remembers some of the stuff that I'm talking about. But yeah. Ooh, what people do for money. Now I'm going to end up having that on a constant loop this weekend because it's stuck in my head. I won't give you guys that. What is it called? An earworm when a song gets stuck in your head? I won't give you guys that earworm, so I'll be quiet about that. Oh, wait. No. I guess Bob might be saying 1984 was the year that it came out. I'm curious now. Let me look it up. Is that really 1984? Oh, man. That's crazy. I'm not going to tell you how old I was. Yep, he's right. 1984.
40 years ago.
Wow. And the group was called Divine Sounds. Anyway, wow. Yeah. Bob corrected it. The song was released in 1984. Jeez. Oh, my goodness. All right. So what did we learn today, kids?
Don't give out credentials.
Don't answer the phone.
Wait, hold on. Here's the big one for me, because I already don't answer it. But the big one for me is just block people. Just block them.
Yep.
Yeah. And then don't give up the credentials, especially if they ask you to log into another website. Say, Lisa remembered it. Yep. Oh, okay, it did. Okay, I forgot about that. You know what it did? he was saying he meant that I'm not the only one to remember the song. It made a comeback in the New Jack City movie. It did. I remember that now. Yeah.
Gotta love when that happens. Whenever a movie comes out and they bring some throwback from 70s, 80s, or even earlier, and all of a sudden it hits like top of the charts for a little bit.
Yeah, yeah. Because let's see. New Jack City was, what year was that? I gotta look that up now. Now I'm real curious. Oh, wow. Was that 1991? Oh, wow. Wow. Wesley Snipes. Bob said I'm old. Look, here's what's funny. I can picture this being in a Will Smith voice, right? Lisa said, leave Bitcoin alone. Leave Bitcoin alone. Leave my wife alone. Keep my wife's name.
Leave Bitcoin out of your mouth.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. All right. So that's today's fraud, y'all. That is today. Speaking of tax evasion. Wait a minute.
Oh, Wesley Snipes.
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, right. Oh, okay. Horace must not have ever been here before. Horace says interesting and funny about drugs, AML, etc. Horace, we're here every Friday at 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We just take a story from the news and we just talk about it. That's what we do. So, all right. That's all I've got on this one. You guys got anything else?
Don't steal money, kids.
I know, right?
Well, all
right.
If you're going to steal money, don't go bragging about it with "LOL, I'm feeling evil" as your handle.
And don't use your dad's IP address. Don't get him involved in your messiness. He's already putting a roof over your head. You don't need to deal with your 23-year-old stuff you got going on.
Right?
If you're making millions, move out of dad's house. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, technically he wasn't making millions. I mean, he was stealing millions. I get what you're saying though, but yeah.
Put him to an early grave having like the ATF, FBI, CIA knocking on your door.
And now every transaction he's ever made is being scrutinized also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. Oh man, that's true. That's sad. Yep. Well, all right. Thank you all for joining us this week on this episode of the Friday Fraudster. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
See ya.